The whole work that I do is about aligning your passion, your heart, with your conscious mind, that driven part of you that's conscious, and your subconscious. So now you're unstoppable.
Welcome to the Thought Leader Revolution with Nikki Ballou. Join the revolution. There's never been a better time in history to speak your truth, find your freedom, and make your fortune. Each week, we interview the world's top thought leaders and learn the secrets of how they built a 6 to 7 figure practice. This episode has been brought to you by eCircleacademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. I'm your host, Nikki Ballou, and boy, do we have an exciting guest lined up for you today. Today's guest is one of the world's leading thought leaders when it comes to living from the heart and creating success as the best version of yourself. She has this incredible method, which she's going to tell us all about, the Heart Freedom Method. I am speaking, of course, of none other than the one, the only, the legendary Dr. Lise Janelle. Welcome to the show, Lise.
Hello, Nikki. Thanks for the powerful introduction.
My pleasure. So good to have you here. It's been a long time in the making.
Yes.
So, Lise, I know you well. I know and love you. You're amazing. Me and my beloved know you and your beloved. We're great friends. But not all my listeners know who you are. And these people, they're the ones, the entrepreneurs, the ones with the dream, the courage, the daring to go out there and try to make life the best version that they can and make a difference and make the dent they were meant to make in the universe. They don't come here because of me. I'm here every week. They come here because of you. But before they can truly open themselves up to you, they got to get to know you. So tell us your backstory. How'd you get to be the great Dr. Lise Janelle?
Well, drums. Well, my background, I was a holistic chiropractor, and I'm always been impatient. I love getting from A to B quickly. I don't like wasting time. I think time is one of the most precious assets that we have. And I got introduced to a method called NET, which stands for Neuro-Emotional Technique. And it allows me to find and dissolve in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a belief that's holding us back. And so the first time I did that method, I tested myself on, I'm ready, willing, and able to be successful. Mm. And lo and behold, I realized that subconsciously, I was not in alignment with that. Why? Because it went to an event when I was 5 years old. And I remember, actually, it's really interesting because, I had not thought about this event in a long time. So I went back, I was 5 years old. My little sister is 3.5, and we're coloring, and now we're coloring books. So because I'm older, especially at that time, you're faster. So I finished before her. I show it to my sister. My sister and my mother, and my mother says, "Well done, Lise. You colored between the lines. It's beautiful." Well, my little sister, she couldn't color between the lines, so she ran away crying. So I stood there going like, "Whoa, this is not fun." When I'm successful, other people feel hurt, and worse, I end up alone. Mm. And so because I'm like, in 1989, I wrote down a mission statement for my life, and the career part said that I was going to help transform the life of 1 million people by bringing them more love, joy, and success in their life. And so because I'm driven, because I wanted to make things happen, like I started to use this method. And then in 1989, when I wrote that mission statement, I was a chiropractor. But by 2003, I realized, okay, if I want to reach my goal of touching the life of 1 million people, I won't be able to do this as a chiropractor. So I left my amazing lifestyle. I loved being a chiropractor. It was really good. My patient loved me, but I had to change. I had to leave it. So I pinched my nose, took my courage, and decided to become a full-time coach. And I was working with a client in Madrid. He was a chiropractor, and I was helping him, streamline, make more money in less time. And I was so frustrated because to do the NET, I need to do muscle testing, and I couldn't do muscle testing over the phone. And so necessity is the mother of all invention. So I created a method called the heart rhythm method. And I don't need to be in front of you to do this. I can actually just use your body sensation to access your subconscious mind and get people unstuck. And it's a pretty good method because Jack Canfield, the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and the Success Principle, as I was presenting at a big meeting, I was presenting my method. He loved it, and he started using it. And he asked me to write a book about it because he says it's the missing link he'd been looking for in 50 years of doing transformational work. So
incredible.
Basically, what I do is I help people reach their goals faster.
Help people reach their goals faster.
Yes.
So, Lise.
Like, you would be surprised. I want to give you this example. Like, I was speaking in Chicago in front of 350 coaches from all over North America and Europe. And I mentioned, this story. And I said, if you want to be tested and being able to be successful, line up and I will test you. And I had at least 100 coaches lined up. And out of 100, only one coach was congruent with being successful. And coaches are supposed to be all about success. But all of them, and if you're listening to this, I bet you that at some level you have this, is that we often associate being successful with being left alone, hurting other people's feelings, being different than our family of origin, and subconsciously it will hold us back. And you could be making $1 million a year, but still that's not success for you because really you're meant for $10 million a year. So it's not about the numbers. It's about you inside, because your subconscious mind is there to keep you alive. It's not your enemy. But when the subconscious mind has associated more pain than pleasure, more danger than safety to what you want, it will hold you back. So being part of a group, we are social beings, like historically speaking, if you were left alone outside of your tribe, you would die. So I think at a very basic instinct, we will sabotage, quote, quote, sabotage ourselves so that we won't be outside the tribe. And it's such a common thing. And I love working with high performer, like athletes. Like it's so cool working with athletes and high level entrepreneurs, because you cannot get to that level unless you have some self-awareness and you're driven. And removing these stories can make you win millions or lose millions. So that's why I love doing this. I had one of my clients, she came to see me, she's an Olympic level athlete, and she had not placed in 2 years. So I tested on I want to win. Imagine you're a Canadian Olympic level athlete. You sacrifice your whole life. You make no money because it's Canada.
It's true.
And I test her on I want to win. And subconsciously, she didn't want. Why? When she was 7 years old, she was already winning. Her brothers were not. And so her mom was hiding her medals and her trophy not to make them feel poorly. So subconsciously, she had associated winning with making people feel poorly. So you get older, you know about Pavlov's dog. So whenever she was in a state of competition, her competitors, even her teammates, could feel like siblings. So she was always holding herself. And there's on my website, drliseelite.com, I have a clip from her, and she talks about how after she worked with me, she ended up on the podium. And she got a lot luckier, quote, quote, because all of a sudden she was free to win. Before that, she was not. So, like, you don't have to be an Olympic athlete, to benefit from this. Anybody who's driven to live an amazing life needs to be aware that 90 to 95% of what you do is actually pre-programmed. And some of the programming works for you, but some of the programming is actually there to keep you safe, but it's actually not good for you anymore. It was good when you were a kid, but it's not good anymore.
You know, Lise, this is absolutely brilliant. And last week, a week ago today, as a matter of fact, I did a session with you. And I shared with you that I'd been not feeling myself for a couple of months. I'd been feeling run down, burnt out, and I didn't even want to talk to people, like I did because it's my job and it's what I do. But honestly, I was doing the minimum and then I was just like vegging out and I didn't understand it because this isn't who I am. This isn't who I've been. And you said, Nikki, I think I can help you. And I said, okay, well, listen, I'll do it. Let's go. I'm desperate at this stage to come back. And the amazing thing is in this 2 months, like the last half of last year and January this year, I was crushing it everywhere, like doing great with my health and fitness, relationships getting better, kids, money, income, clients, boom. And then all of a sudden, it all like kind of lands flat. And so you took me through your methodology. We did the in-person version of it with the muscle testing. And I started to see, whoa, there's stuff from my past that I didn't even know was driving the bus, but it was driving the bus. And so you use your technique. You help me release these things. So let me tell you what's happened in a week, because this is obviously a process, right? You don't just instantly go, oh my God, yeah, I feel amazing. I did feel better, but I was also a little catatonic after that session, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, this is better. Thanks, Lise, bye. I wasn't really speaking properly to you because I wasn't really in a space where I could process everything that had happened. But a week's gone by, and I'm one of these people, when things happen, it takes me time to process them, et cetera, et cetera. So weeks gone by. And here's what's happened. I feel alive again. Like last night, I'd signed up for Jordan Peterson's Peterson Academy. It has courses, and I was taking a course 1 or 2 days a week. I'd go do a lesson. I hadn't done a lesson because I didn't even, don't want to do it. Last night, I did it, and I was excited. It was great. I had more energy throughout the day. And I'm starting to have conversations with some potential clients that are starting to say, yeah, let's talk, let's get it to the next level. And I'm feeling like, hey, listen, it's coming. The money's coming, the business is coming, my joie de vivre is coming back. So what's happened? What you experienced it, you coached me through it. Explain it to me, because I'm just telling you I see the results, but I don't fully understand what happened.
Yeah, you know the book Think and Grow Rich?
Yes, of course.
And it's true that you create what you believe, but most people don't know what deep down they believe. It's like you're a prime example. Like you're a self-aware kind of guy. Consciously, there's your conscious mind. You're a pretty driven kind of guy. But we have these stories that we have no idea are holding us back. Carl Jung apparently said, when you can bring your subconscious to your conscious, until you bring your subconscious to your consciousness, you experience challenges and you believe it to be fate.
Wow.
And yeah, we end up believing things because we make ourselves true. And at the quantum level, we know the observer, the observer, and the observee is one and the same. So your consciousness, who you are inside, is creating the reality that you experience on the outside. So when something is being reflected back to you that it's not working, that it's wonky, you need to pay attention, because it's showing you that your subconscious mind is not in line with you right now. It believes that it's dangerous for you to do what you want to do. And I have 3 clues that you have a subconscious belief working against you. Number 1, you know what needs to be done, but you're not doing it. procrastination. And for people who are listening to this right now, you're probably, thought leaders and people who are driven to live an amazing life. And it makes us feel guilty because you go, that's not me. Why is it I'm not doing those things I should be doing right now? And you start beating yourself down, which makes it worse. The second clue that you have a subconscious belief working against you is you keep doing what's right, but it's using more of your energy. So it sounded like what you were going through, Nikki, a lot of it.
Yep.
And the third clue, and that one really upsets driven people, is you follow the recipe. You follow what the gurus tell you, but you keep getting the opposite results to what you want. So for all of you who are listening right now, if you're taking courses, reading books, like the one thing you need to become aware of, because no matter how great the material you get, if subconsciously it's too dangerous for you to get what you want, you're fighting a mighty enemy. It's very challenging. And it was really cool working with you because I actually saw your energy shift. Like it was like you were more laser-like afterwards. It's like before it was more nebulous. And this is how I like to feel it. It is like your energy, when we have a subconscious belief working against us, like makes us scrambled. Like the message you send in the universe is not as strong anymore. And it's interesting because it happens through quantums. Like up until 2 months ago, you were within the quantum that you were able to function the way you wanted. But because now you're getting ready to jump quantum, whatever you have not let go now shows up. And now it makes you more foggy, like more scrambled. So you're not able to be as powerful in the universe. You're not as able to, the law of attraction.
Yes, of course.
So when you are super clear in your heart, not in your infatuation, not, this is so cool, I want a Lamborghini. Like if you want a Lamborghini, it's fine. But some people want a Lamborghini because somebody they like when they were a kid wanted a Lamborghini, but it's not really your heart. So whatever you have in your heart, it's aligned with your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So you need to have everything in line. Because otherwise, if you have a misalignment, like you're not powerful, you're not as effective. So the whole work that I do is about aligning your passion, your heart with your conscious mind, that driven part of you that's conscious, and your subconscious. So now you're unstoppable.
This concept of alignment, many years ago, I took some programs and courses in neurolinguistic programming, NLP. I studied under a lady by the name of Mary Lou Seavey, and she actually was my coach and mentor for several years. I did the basic course, I did the practitioner course, I did even the master practitioner course, and I did some advanced courses with Robert Dilts, who's one of like the icons of the NLP world. They talk about congruence, which is similar to the alignment that you speak of, and they say that one of the things that happens inside of NLP is that people are incongruent. What they say they want and the patterns they're running are incongruent. And it sounds like this is what you're talking about in a way as well, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's what the cool thing when you do my method, the Heart Freedom Method, is that you've done it and it's gone. We clear your physiology, because your subconscious mind is not just in your head, it's actually your whole being. And so what I do is like neural rewiring. It actually impacts your health. It's amazing how, like, even for me, I used to have a scoliosis, which is an S in the spine, that was 18-degree thoracic and 21 lumbar. And the last time I took an X-ray, maybe 15 years ago, it was 3 and 5. So I went from 18 to 3 and 21 to 5. Wow. And so it literally changes your cellular memory. It changes your wiring. It really aligns you and helps you become, powerful and capable. And you become less energy resistant. You become energy efficient.
Love it. So let's talk about this and its application to people in the realm of business. Because after all, many thought leaders here, they're business people as well. They want to become more successful, and they're wondering to themselves, why am I not more successful? Some of them have imposter syndrome. Heck, I've had imposter syndrome. So tell us, how does this work specifically applied to business? And perhaps you have a story or an example.
Oh, I have literally done this with thousands of people. I can tell you thousands of stories. I have a peer review study. I did 2 other studies with 325 of my clients. And I can tell you that for business, and it's really fun. Like, I can actually test you. Like, you tell me, let's say you want to make $500,000 a year, and I test you. I'm ready, willing, and able to make 500,000. And we might find like you're actually stuck at 300. And subconsciously, you might make more, but then you're going to lose it because where you're at resonates with 300. So when somebody comes to see me, I test them, I'm worthy of love, because 99.9% of the time, we have stories that hold us back, that make us feel, okay, I can talk for hours. I don't know how much you want me to talk.
Talk! That's the whole point. Talk.
Okay. So from working with thousands of people one-on-one, I find there are 2 stages to human development. The first one is the unconscious, sleep, infantile stage. We all have to go through that one. I call it the boot camp. Then there's the second one, which is the conscious, awake, and mature stage, which I call creating heaven on earth. And the difference between stage 1 and stage 2 is that in stage 1, we are driven from the external world. Why? Because right from the get-go, when you were born, love had to come from outside of you. And if it didn't come from outside of you, you would die. So we get used to manipulating the outside world. And when the world reacts to us in the way we like, we think I'm worthy. And when it doesn't react to you the way you want, then you start creating stories. So that's why all of us, like, people say, oh, no, I don't, like, you are BSing yourself if you believe you don't have some of this. Like, scientists believe that up to 95% of what we do is actually pre-programmed, especially in the first 7 years. So you go through life and you have experiences and you create stories about your worth. You create stories about your capability, the imposter syndrome, and, whether you'll be loved or rejected if you get. So when I work with my clients, I help them stop being driven from trying to find their worthiness outside of themselves. Actually, my whole work is about helping them shift from the boot camp to stage 2. Because in the boot camp, you're trying to manipulate the world, like, oh, if I get X amount of money, or this kind of woman, or this kind of guy, or this kind of, like, whatever we think, like, then I'm going to be successful. So as long as you put your sense of worth outside yourself, you get challenged. It's like, in coaching term, we call that an unwinnable game. You're trying to find your worth, but because the world is not, all there to make you feel great about yourself, you can't get out of it. And usually people come to see me either because they lost their career, they lost their money, they lost their spouse, they lost their health, like something is happening, or they just feel like, oh my goodness, there's got to be more to life than what I'm doing. And they feel like, ugh. Or, so this is, most people come to see me through challenge, or somebody listens to a recording like right now, what we're doing, and they go, wow, this sounds inspiring. I'm driven. I want to. So people come to see me, and what I help them do is I help them create clarity around what's true success for them. And then it becomes a new game. So basically the difference between stage 1 is, in stage 1, we run away from pain towards pleasure, trying to make up for how unworthy we are and how incapable we are, compensating, creating all kinds of anxiety and depression, and it's not fun. In stage 2, this is a visual for success. In stage 2, it's about listening to your heart, and your heart wants you to know two things. The first thing your heart wants you to know is you're worthy of love. And the second thing your heart wants you to do is admit your dreams and aspirations. The problem with that is, what if I admit that I want to leave my job and I want to become an entrepreneur, or I want a new position, or I need to change spouse, or whatever. Like, sometimes it's really hard, but if you want to live an amazing life, you definitely need to become aware of what matters to you, because you are worthy of having what you want. And then once you know these two things, then it's about organizing your time to give your heart what it wants. And I have an inspiring story that was told to me a couple of weeks ago by this NFL guy. He before going into the NFL, he played for college football. The team was called the Bisons. And the reason they had called it the Bison is because bison, if there's a storm coming, it's the only animal that actually goes towards the storm to be out of it faster. Most animals just run away from it, so then the storm just follows you. And in life, this is exactly, if you want to live an amazing life, you need to be strong like a bison. You need to be clear. You know where you want to go. I often have this like to represent kind of like a mountain. So you know where you want to go. So you take actions, and then you observe, is this working, not working? You start using everything that's happening to your benefit. And then if you see, you're procrastinating, or it's using more energy, or you're getting the opposite results, you do your self-conscious work, keep taking actions. You master one level, then you go to the next level. It becomes, I call that the ultimate game of life. The ultimate game of life is to let go of any stories to the opposite, that you can be successful. Like, it's the path to enlightenment. Basically, becoming so crystal clear on what you want and letting go of stories, so you're more and more in tune with your core. You're more and more in tune with your purest essence, so you can bring your purest essence into the world.
This whole issue of clarity is one that a lot of people have problems with. Is the lack of clarity a function of this stage one being in your story about yourself? Is that really what it is?
Yeah, exactly. Because what if I admit what I really want? Then I might be successful. And if I'm successful, I'm different than my family. I'm different than my friends. I'm different than my culture. I'm different than what my religion tells me I should be. So it's just that gaining clarity, and I can tell you a story, actually, from working with a lot of people. The root cause of that one is often seated in when we were babies. A lot of us were put on a feeding schedule. So you're brand new baby, you're born, you got so scared being born. That's another thing that happens. As people know they're about to jump quantum and become really successful, the Pavlovian bell rings, because when they were born, which is one quantum to the next quantum, they thought they were going to die. So that's a big one that prevents you. Like, I don't want to know what I really want because I'm going to die. So that's one. But the other one that has destroyed a lot of clarity is, as a baby, you were put in the nursery, and you would cry for your mom, and you cry and cry and cry. And you cry and cry and cry for your mom. You cry and cry and cry, and nobody's coming. So now you're creating two beliefs. One is something is wrong with me. I can't get what I want. So now that's part of your driver in stage one. And the second is, it hurts too much to ask for what I want, so I'll stop asking. It's safer if I don't ask. So those two things I just talked about, those are so common. So common.
As you say them, I'm like, yeah, I've experienced all of that. I've experienced all of that. And when you said to me earlier that the reason that I have found myself in this space that I've been for the last couple of months has been I'm ready for the next level of change, but I just didn't know what that looks like. And I actually feel that I'm in a space where I'm seeking. I've had you come into my life and a couple other people come into my life. And I think it's time to do another round of deep introspection.
Yes. Well, this is like, life is a journey. It's like, the corny thing, it's not the destiny that matters, it's the journey. But this is truly what we do as human beings. Like, we just keep evolving and evolving towards our purest essence of who we are. And that's what makes life rich. Life is beautiful once you understand that whether you're being challenged or feeling supported, it's all support. Because, like, I do public speaking like you, and like I've asked these questions to probably thousands of people. Raise your hand if you've never had huge challenges. And over the years, only one person raised her hand, and she goes, me. And she was young, and she goes, and I'm scared because I don't know what's going to happen when I get challenged. So if you're a smart human being, the game is not to try to have a life that's all pleasure, no challenge, because it's not going to happen. It's always going to be equal and opposite. So if you're a smart cookie, every time you have a challenge, you take a deep breath in and you go, since I'm worthy of love, how am I going to use this challenge right now for my benefit? There are basically only two reasons you face a challenge. You're being guided, like your heart. That's why it's important to have clarity. And what you were saying, like, clarity is magical. Once you have clarity, it's like you put this energy in the universe, like bing, and then all kinds of things starts happening. So you put this energy into the universe, and then if you attract a challenge, it's because there's only two reasons. One is it's asking you to master something, because obviously if you mastered it, it wouldn't be a challenge. So by mastering this challenge, you become wiser, more capable of reaching your goals. And or it's sending you in a direction that you were not aware of that you needed to go. And it's like, wow, this is amazing. This is a miracle. Like, I had no idea that through this challenge, I was going to be sent on this journey. Or you're aware you need to change direction, but you're kicking and screaming. Not wanting to go. These are the only two reasons why you attract challenges. And I can give you an example about me. Like, in 1989, I said I was going to help the life of 1 million people. Well, by 2003, I was still a chiropractor. Because I had an easy life. I was keeping stuck in my easy life, because who wants to scare yourself to death? And so I ended up behind my patients and I was crying. And I go, okay, what does that mean? And I took 3 months off, and I realized the reason why I was crying is because I knew what I needed to do, but I didn't want to do it. And the reason in 1989 that I wrote down my mission statement was because in 1988, my father was diagnosed with terminal cancer, given 9 months to live. That was 3 weeks before my sister's wedding. A week after my sister's wedding, my 21-year-old brother died in a car accident. Oh. And within a month of all this, my 8-year relationship to the man I thought I was going to marry ended. And it was like, ow, ow, ow. But that was the perfect driver for me in stage 1 in the boot camp, because it sent me on a quest to understand, how do you live life so that when these things happen, because it's not if they're going to happen, is when they happen, you don't go flat like a pancake. And so now, back then I was not aware, but I look back and I go, wow, like I would never have chosen this huge challenge for sure. It was painful. But when I look back, one of the reasons I'm sitting in front of you and I'm helping all of these people is because out of this extremely painful challenge, equal and opposite drive came into my life. So now that I'm more conscious, when I'm in stage 2, when these things happen, take a breath in. You need to allow yourself to feel the emotion, because otherwise you do spiritual bypass. And spiritual bypass does not work. And then you go, okay, this is not fun, but I know the universe is sending me this because I'm clear on where I want to go. And I haven't mastered this thing, so it's asking me to master this to get where I want to go. And the day you start living your life like this, you become unstoppable. No matter what life sends to you, you start using it to your advantage. So if you're a smart human being, you don't seek a life of only pleasure. It doesn't happen. John DeMartini says, the source of human suffering is the search for pleasure without challenges. So if you are smart, what you do is you learn to use both sides. Because also when things are fun, often we have a tendency to want to stay there, and then it gets in, if you're in bed with your partner and you're having a really nice time and then you got to go to work, it's like, you want to stay there. So it's important to be conscious because pleasure or challenges can get us away from reaching our goals. So the more conscious you are in stage 2, and the more mature you are, the more wisdom you have, the more you can navigate life powerfully, efficiently. You don't waste energy into feeling sorry for yourself more than 5 minutes. You gotta let yourself feel sorry for yourself 5 minutes. Feel it, work through it, and go, all right, I'm going to be like the bisons. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to use this to my advantage.
I really like that metaphor of the bison because the bison goes through the storm. Mary Lou Seavey, who was my NLP teacher, used to say, the only way out is through. The only way out is through. And I love that. It was really fantastic. Lise, this is spectacular stuff. So you've written a book. Let's talk a bit about your book.
Yes. I have one book. It's called Conversation with the Heart, and it's really good way. It's a really good book to help you become conscious and then to stage 2. And now I'm mostly finished the book with Jack. It's called Unstuck. And that one is about dealing with the subconscious mind. And that's the name of the game. To be successful, you need to be conscious and clear and take actions. But you also need to be aware of your subconscious. By aligning those two powers together, that's where you become unstoppable. And so, I got to be on stage with the people from the movie The Secret, and I got to teach them the true law of attraction. So that I got a kick out of that. That was so much fun. So here you go, drum roll. The true law of attraction is the following. If you challenge yourself to follow your heart and give it what it wants, you attract support. But if you stay in your comfort zone, wanting everything to be given to you, you attract challenges. We'll never escape support and challenges. The only thing we can do is consciously or unconsciously get challenged. You consciously challenge yourself to reach your goals, to be a bison, to make things happen. Or you feel sorry for yourself, thinking the world is working against you, and now you attract more and more challenges.
That's beautiful. If you challenge yourself to give your heart what it wants, you attract support. If you stay in your comfort zone, you attract challenges.
Exactly. The challenge is often just being unhappy, feeling empty, feeling like a loser. But then also because now you decrease your energy, now you attract challenges in your life too that match what you're feeling. And it's really hard to get out of that. This is stage 1 living. In stage 2, you're inspired and you create a different ball of energy that keeps pulling you up.
This is brilliant stuff. So Lise, you have a gift that you wanted to give to my listeners. Let's talk about that for a few minutes.
Well, the gift is if you're interested, if you want to take your business to the next level, if you're a top athlete and you want to break through, you can have a free conversation with one of my staff. And if you are perfect for me, then we can have a conversation, a free conversation where we can see what your goals are and how can I make it happen. I have different products also. I have some online products. I have products you can coach with some of my coaches. I have an amazing weekend called Extreme Freedom Weekend, which is 2 days to become really conscious. Like if you want to become conscious, create a statement of purpose for your life. It's the thing that got me to stop being a chiropractor. This is how powerful it is. So the free gift is a conversation with me. If you mean business and you're ready to transform your life, I'm here for you.
So listener, I did this conversation with Dr. Lise. It was stunningly transformational. The after effects of it are still unfolding in my life, and I suspect they will be for a while. But I can tell you this, I feel a level of calm and peace at a way higher level. And I could just feel that what I want is coming to me. There's a level of attraction of business and money, and also new, how can I put it, collaborative relationships are starting to bubble up as well. And I got to tell you, all of this started to pop after I met with Dr. Lise and I did a session with her. And that's a session that would be one of her paid sessions. So I just want to be clear, that's not one of her free sessions. That's a very powerful, in-depth worth of work. So you pay for that. But I'll tell you something, it's worth it. I highly recommend you take advantage of having a call with a member of her team. And if it's the right thing to do, with Dr. Lise herself. So we like to end off each episode by asking you, our guest expert, what are your top 3 expert action steps? These are your 3 best pieces of advice for my listener to take their life, their success to the next level. What say you?
All right. Whenever you feel a challenge, take a deep breath in. And instead of asking what's wrong with me for this to happen, you take a breath in and you go, how am I going to use this to my advantage? Number 2, you need to become your best friend, because your inner voice can either uplift you or take you down the dumpsters. So I have, actually, it's a free gift. It's called bestfriendjournal.com. It's a 30-day challenge where you learn to become your best friend so that when you are challenged, instead of beating yourself down, you use what you would tell your best friend. Like one of my clients, she's a cyclist. She was at the Ontario level. And she said at the end of a race, when her coach was not there and she was not at the place she wanted to be, she would put herself down. And now, because she's learned to put herself, up, her standings has become your best, super important. I have one of my clients, I love him dearly. He's in Spain, and his goal is to help 100 million people through nutrition and health supplements. And he says this tool has allowed him to shift tremendously. It's a 30-day challenge. You can download it. It's free. The third thing that I would recommend for each and every one of you is that you become who you are, why you're here, where you're going, because the clarity of that, even if you're scared, the clarity of admitting what it is that you want to be will inspire you. Like stage 1 living, you're using a carrot, a stick to get you moving. In stage 2, you're using a carrot. You're using inspiration. When you use inspiration, in means with, ation is a condition of spirit. So when you're in stage 2, you will pull yourself out and you will help yourself live heaven on earth.
Amazing. Amazing. Listener, Dr. Lise Janelle is the real deal. She's offered an amazing gift. It'll be in the show notes to have a call with a member of her team. Highly recommend you take her up on it. She's amazing. This is going to absolutely change your life. And she's written an amazing book called Conversations with the Heart, and she's got a new book coming out called Unstuck. Make sure you grab those. if you enjoyed this episode, give us a like, a rating, and a review. And if you have a friend who needed its message, be generous. Share the episode with them. Share the episode with them and tell them, hey, I think this is what you need to hear right now. Trust me, you'll have been doing God's work. Lise, so amazing to have you on the show. God bless you. You're fabulous.
God bless you too, Nikki. You're amazing.
Thank you. And that wraps up another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. To find out more about today's incredible guest, the one and only Dr. Lise Janelle, go to the show notes at thethoughtleaderrevolution.com or wherever you happen to listen to the episode, be it iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Audible, YouTube, Rumble, or what have you. Until next time, goodbye.
This episode has been brought to you by eCircleAcademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.